the ugly, the bad, the good, becoming a stronger me, where I'm transparent about my story, my struggles, and my healing journey. Hola, amigos, amigas, friends, family, listeners, new listeners to my third podcast. Happy Thursday. I have a new microphone for my podcast, so hopefully my voice sounds crisp and clear. Thank you for tuning in today. Very excited. And today's topic is balance. I wanted to talk about finding balance in pretty much everything in your life, from work to things you enjoy, passionate projects, health. There has to be balance. Of course, we hear that all the time, but it's so true in so many different aspects. I believe balance is very much needed when it comes also to mental health. So, I'm going to read something I had posted a couple weeks back about an incident that happened to me. I was on a walking trail and a suspicious guy walked past me. What made him suspicious is several things. We walked past each other and he stopped and was looking at the trees when I turned around to look. And I didn't think much of it, so I kept walking. Then I stopped to take a drink and I happened to look behind me and he had walked around where it curves and I couldn't see his body, but I saw his head and it was sticking out around the curve like he was looking around the bend at me. So that, of course, caused suspicion. And since he was walking the opposite direction, I just kept walking. I got all the way about 3/4 of a mile, and I got about, when I turned back around, I think I got about a half a mile back. And I could see someone standing at a distance, and it looked like he was coming in and out of the woods. I could see him for about half a mile as I kept walking toward him. So the entire time I was walking toward him, he just stood there. So I actually had called my husband because he wasn't too far away, and I called him to meet me because my gut was telling me to call him. So I began to walk slower to give my husband time to reach me. As I got closer, I could see it was actually the same guy just standing there. The guy was standing there at a sideways angle to be able to see both ends of the walking trail. I called my husband to ask if he was close. He was on the trail getting ready to come around the curve that I had mentioned earlier. As soon as he said that to me over the phone, the guy started to walk toward me since my husband was right behind him now. I don't know if the guy heard my husband on the phone or saw him coming around the corner, but he instantly started walking. As soon as he walked past me and I got to my husband, who was not too far behind him, we both looked back and he was looking back at us. As a survivor myself, I would rather be safe than sorry and just let others know of what might be a suspicious activity. So some of the comments that I received was, you should report this. Another comment I got was, you should have called the police. Not everyone will see this. Another comment, this has nothing to do with a garage sale, just more fear mongering of our fellow neighbors. There's a difference between safe and throwing shade at someone. Another comment, why didn't you say something like, hi, what's up? So these were some of the comments that I actually received from a post that I put up to make people aware of their surroundings. When people post comments like, you should have called the police, not everyone will see this, or you should report this, you're almost, in a way, making the person feel like they didn't do the right thing. I think for me as a survivor of trauma that I have experienced as a child, I think it's important for me to find balance between saying something and not saying something. If something bothers me, I know that I have to speak up and say something. That's my responsibility. I get that. I think people who have not gone through traumatic experiences like this, they just need to be aware, and hopefully they appreciate honest and understanding that comments like this, you should report this, you should call the cops, not everyone can see this. Like, comments like that should be questions, not comments. And I think sometimes survivors of sexual assault can take these comments as, you know, you didn't do the right thing, you should have done this. But instead, I think people who post comments like this just need to be a little more understanding that those comments, to us, we start, and I know I'm responsible for my own actions, but I just think, like, if we're open and have open communication about things that bother us, I mean, yeah, it's possible certain things I'm probably a little sensitive to, but I also think that if we have open dialogue, other people who post comments like that can understand that. How about asking, hey, did you report that? Instead of, you should report. Like, you can't assume that the person didn't report it. Yes, I should have also made a comment on my post, maybe, that said, I reported this. But in the moment, I'm not thinking to write that, because I'm already doing my what I feel I need to do, which is alert people, report it, and just share what happened. I would rather save somebody of an incident, and make them aware of what I think was suspicious, than not to and keep silent. But I would also rather be asked, hey, did you report this, versus you should have. It just comes across as you didn't do what I think you should have done, basically, is how that comes across. And I know when you post comments and I have a podcast, I know I'm going to get all kinds of comments and feedback of people who don't agree. But I guess I'm just hoping that if I have this open dialogue, that we can all just kind of shift a little bit, and instead of being ashamed of it or letting it bother me, I want to be able to just speak up and talk about it. And maybe someone hearing this will just shift just a little bit. No, not everybody should walk on eggshells around people who are sensitive or people who have PTSD. But I just think having an open dialogue will just help everybody at the end of the day. So I was, I don't know, I get not really disappointed when I received all these comments. I guess I was just like, wow. That's the only, I don't really know how to explain it. Maybe I haven't wrapped my head around it yet, but I think finding a balance between, me taking responsibility and informing everyone that I posted to that I did call and report the incidents so that nobody is concerned. So my point is, there has to be a balance between taking responsibility, but also telling your truth on what bothered you, how it made you feel, and there's no blame, for how people comment and post, things as statements versus questions. But I do think that it's healthy to be able to express yourself and make others aware. I think with post-traumatic stress disorder, I can only speak for myself, I guess I should say. We tend to blame ourselves for what I did for many years. And so it's easy for me to get into a bad habit of doing it again, which of course I don't want to do. That's not the point of this. But I think we always second guess ourselves sometimes, and situations like this can kind of remind us of that. And so I just want to speak up and speak out on this so that we can all just understand each other better. So I hope that this has helped. This is my words for you today. Speak up, speak out in a healthy, balanced way so you are heard and understood. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and I hope that this has shed light on just a little area of where I feel balance is important.